I'm trying to experiment with high definition. Excuse the hair, but I've been feeling really ill, and I believe that's due to flu viruses going around. Don't worry, I don't think it's swine flu because I'm living, just about. I went to my counsellor on Wednesday, and he told me a very interesting story. He said basically that people with AS, or vulnerable people who have been abused in the past, people that have been bullied or whatever, give off certain signals to other bullies that say it's okay to bully them. Now, haven't you ever wondered why it doesn't matter where you go, it doesn't matter how nice you are, that people treat you in a certain way? Why is it that some blokes can be abrupt or rude, or some girls can be abrupt and rude and get away with it? If you try, you get stamped on. The reason being is body language. And some people who are confident, you know, they give off that air of, don't mess with me, I'm going to knock you down if you do. And some people pretend to be confident or still give off the body language that they're not really confident. For instance, there was a psychological experiment, and the psychological experiment consisted of this. It was a load of students doing psychology in the US, and I had them all in a circle. And the psychological experiment was the fact that they couldn't say anything to anybody. They couldn't indicate what their interests were. They couldn't do anything. All they could do was blink and look at the other person. So the second stage was that they had to choose a partner. Still, just looking and blinking at the other person. So they paired off. And then after that, they had to choose, out of that pair, another pair they wanted to go with. Still, nobody knew anybody else's background, right? Nobody else knew anybody else's background. So 2 became 4, and 4 became 8, 16, 32, you've got the picture. At the end of the day, all the accountants, you know, were together. People interested in the same music were together. People who were like saying to computers were together. People who were no-hopers were together. Do you see what I mean? Body language. They didn't say anything to each other. They didn't indicate anything. But because subconsciously they knew that that person would be similar to them, they picked them. So when I went into the workplace, and I gave off an air of, I'm a victim, I'm easily to push around, you know. For instance, if you go to certain people in the office, if you say, make the tea, right? If it was my brother, he'd say, fuck off, piss off, make your own tea. But if it's someone with low self-esteem, you know, who can be easily bullied, it would be, oh, okay, how many sugars? Do you see what I mean? That's the difference. That's the difference. And that is what AS, that's the problem with AS really, because we give off the vulnerability factor. So when we go into, say, schools, colleges, universities, work, or even anywhere really, voluntary places or whatever, we give off we attract bullies because we basically give off that factor of we are easily manipulated. Now, assertiveness courses help MTs in this way, but I don't think they'll help AS people because we don't give off body language the same way. And if you've got a load of girls together, one lad, a load of girls will pick on one lad. I'll give you an example. A woman I know says that there's this bloke and he's very shy, he's everything else, and he works in a shop, right? And the girls always teased him about, haven't you got a girlfriend yet, and pinching his bum and that, which if he did to them, you know, he'd be out on his ear. See what I mean? It's his word against theirs. And the same goes for the single girl that goes to a building site and go, oh darling, you're going to wear a short skirt for us and all the rest of it. Because it happens. Because there's safety in numbers. and people gang up in numbers. And normally, if they don't want to get bullied, they follow the bully. So these are things to think about, really. These are things to think about. And so it's not your fault if you get bullied. It's not your fault if people treat you a certain way. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm 6'4", right? And the only time that people treated me with respect is when I've lost my temper. Because they know that they've pushed me too far. They know, hang on, this bloke's a big bloke. You know, pushed him too far. He'll lamp you. But, you know, but other times, people just don't give you the respect. And it's nothing to do with you. It's your tone of voice on the phone as well. If you sound timid and say, is Jim there? And they'll say, we don't know where he is or whatever. But if you get on the phone and you say, hello, can I speak to Jim? It's like, oh yeah, we'll go and get it. See what I mean? It's the way that you do it. It's the way that you do it. Now my mum's different. My mum will have a conversation with them, and that works as well. But it works for women, but blokes aren't meant to be these pleasant things that go, you know, unless, you know, they're effeminate or whatever. Blokes aren't meant to be, you know, you can't get away with talking to a woman and saying, oh, what kind of, you know, like that. Like, if you go into a shop, you can't get away with saying to a woman, oh, you know, well, you know, like women talk to each other, you know, about all kinds of things, but she might take it her own way and think you're trying to come on to her and get upset. So, do you know what I mean? That's the way it goes. Anyway, take care, bye for now.